the Tigers head out west to Arizona, where they will be playing the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are not a great team either. They are currently 32 and 39, so a little bit better than the Tigers, about 6 games better than the Tigers. But what we're going to be stuck with here as fans, truthfully, is two pretty bad teams playing late at night. Let me give you permission right now. If you end up falling asleep watching the game, don't feel bad about it, because you're probably not going to miss much, truthfully. When we look at, I want to break down kind of what Arizona does, what Arizona struggles with, and then we're going to look at the pitching matchups to give us a nice round 3-part segment for this preview. But here's the thing, this is what Arizona does well. First of all, they're a very good base running team. They have 11.2 BSR, which is a base running metric, and that's the second best to the Texas Rangers in the MLB. So if they get on base, they're going to wreak havoc on base. They also have the 6th best walk rate in Major League Baseball at 9.3%. They're going to walk about 9% of the time. 9% of their at-bats they're going to walk. Those are some things that they do well. Okay? But on the inverse of that, something that they struggle with is they have a 24.3% K rate. So our pitchers are going to have to challenge these hitters. Get to a point where you're throwing a lot of strikes. They keep talking about win that race to 2 strikes, and I was talking to one of our guys here at Detroit Sports Nation who's a certified scout, and they talk about this metric called 2 of 3, right? Are 2 of the first 3 pitches 4 strikes, or a ball that's put in play for an out, and that'll give us like a good idea of how the pitcher's controlling the zone. And it's really interesting when I was talking to him about that this week, of that's exactly what this Tigers pitching staff needs to do right now, is they need to win that 2 of 3 battle. They need to continuously win that 2 of 3 battle, especially against a team that walks 9% of the time but strikes out 24.3% of the time. And newsflash, 24.3% of the time, according to Fangraphs, is actually worse than the Tigers. Look, I didn't think it was possible. I did not think that there was going to be a team that struck out more than the Tigers, but guess what? There is, and that's the team that they're playing this weekend, which is incredible. So the pitchers have to find a way to control that zone. They got to find a way to win that 2 out of 3 of the first 3 pitches, making them effective pitches and making them strikes or weak contact to balls in play to get outs. Okay, another thing that Arizona is going to struggle with, their pitching staff as a whole, according to Fangraphs, has a 290 batting average on balls in play against. So we're talking about when the ball is put in play, hitters have a 290 average right now against Arizona pitching. That's a good thing for Tigers hitters, especially for Tigers hitters that are struggling. Put the ball in play. Win those battles with the pitchers, and make sure that when the ball gets in play, you're getting on base. Put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay, that's where we're at. So let's look at pitching matchups. Let's talk about who are the Tigers running out there that can hopefully get these guys some wins. Because, you know, if we get swept out of Arizona as well, and then next week we got a 2-game set in San Francisco, it's not going to get prettier. Okay? It'll only continue to get worse. So it is imperative that you win this series. The Tigers have only won 5 series this entire season. And they've been shut out, I think, more already this season than they have all of last season, which is not a good thing. So what are the pitching matchups? Friday night, we've got a 9:40 start. You have Ronnie Garcia facing Merrill Kelly. Now, Merrill Kelly's a right-handed pitcher. He has a .302 or a 302 batting average on balls in play against. So hitters, when they put the ball in play, are getting on base. He has a 3.48 ERA, but he has a 3.20 FIP, fielding independent pitching. So what that does is that removes other factors than ERA even does and gives you a truer metric. You can read it like an ERA, but it gives you a little bit better of an idea of how he's actually affecting the game as a pitcher. So he's actually pitching better than what his ERA would indicate. He's got a 3.48 in ERA, but a 3.26 FIP, which is pretty good. Pretty good for him. So imperative, again, that the Tigers get the ball in play, make something happen. On Saturday, a 10-10 in the evening start. Alex Faedo hoping to rebound from his last 2 starts that have not gone very well against Zach Davies. Zach Davies is a right-handed pitcher as well. He has a lower batting average on balls in play at 258, but his ERA is at 396, and he's getting a little bit lucky because his FIP is actually 435. So definitely a gettable pitcher for the Tigers on Saturday night, and hopefully they bring the lumber with them that night and are putting balls in play and are really ready to make something happen. On Sunday, we got Bo Brisky again, hoping to get deeper into a game than 5 innings like he did against the Red Sox, against the Diamondbacks. And no matter where I looked for who was starting for the Diamondbacks, MLB.com, Baseball Savant, Baseball Reference, Fangraphs, it doesn't matter. It's to be determined. Nobody knows who's starting for the Arizona Diamondbacks on Sunday. So, time will tell. Maybe it'll be a bullpen day for them. Maybe it'll be an opportunity for the Tigers to actually get the bats going. Maybe they'll get somebody called up for a spot starter. Who knows? It's to be determined. But look, here's the modus operandi for the Tigers as they go into Arizona Friday through Sunday. You got to win baseball games. And I know AJ Hinch is very keen on talking about winning the game that you're playing that day. Fantastic. Win that game. But you also need to win at least 2. You have to win this series. If you do not win this series, I don't know if there's even a silver lining that we can pull out of it anymore. I don't even know if there's a silver lining worth pulling out of it anymore if you can't win 2 out of these 3 games. Yes, you're playing on the road where you have not been very good this year. You are 6-4 in the last 10 against Arizona, but you haven't played them since 2017. So that really doesn't matter at all because none of these guys on this team, except for Miguel Cabrera, were even around in 2017. So you can throw that out the window. But you got to win 2 out of 3. That's all there is to it. Anything less than 2 out of 3 is an utter failure in Arizona. An utter failure.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way.